Welcome back everyone to another video about Magnus Carlsen destroying the top grandmasters, which are just the top players of all chess. We have Magnus playing black in the first game that they played against each other. They played 4 games, and Magnus Carlsen is playing white in their last game. They were both at a 1.5, and you had to get 2.5 points to win. So we have Magnus Carlsen starting off with a Caro-Kann, which is very interesting, and bishop to f5. Normal stuff, and now h4 is a very common move, but is the tall variation, and it's not actually played that much. The best move is to play h5 against it, but another move that most people play at a beginner to advanced level is really terrible, and it's e6, because this is the main idea in the Caro-Kann. They'll just put their bishop out, put their pawn forward brainlessly, and then you play here, and then their bishop's actually trapped. No matter what they do, you win their bishop for a pawn, and you're completely winning the game. However, Magnus Carlsen is not a beginner, and he plays c5, which is not a good move. It is the main idea of the Caro-Kann, but he's playing it out of turn. You should probably play something to defend it or prepare it, which that is not a move that prepares it. Instead, he just immediately gambits the pawn, and he's down about 0.7, but it is a 10-minute game, so you can see here they have barely any time, and it should be pretty easy for Magnus Carlsen to counter him, because they both are going to make pretty terrible moves. Now Magnus Carlsen makes the move e6 like I was talking about. We have bishop going to e3, and just some more development of the pieces. Now the knight develops to h6, which is not a square, but it's trying to get to this square. I don't know why he wouldn't just go here and here. I feel like it's the same, because he's on that square anyways. Now we have bishop going to d4 and bishop going to e7. Queen jumps onto a4, and now castles, bishop takes, pawn takes, and knight drops back to h2, attacking this bishop, which is hanging, and the bishop just stays there under attack, and the knight trades off on the bishop on d4. So queen takes back, and the bishop drops back into safety of the defended f5 square. We have pawn forwards attacking that bishop. Pawn forwards, very interesting move here. It looks like you just completely lose a bishop, but if you do that, which is pretty much the best move, pawn takes, you're attacking the queen, and you have a very large center here. So, oh, that's exactly what happened. Okay, now the queen drops back, and we have rook takes f5. Magnus Carlsen actually making a mistake here. However, Alireza Firouzja does not play the best move, which would have been rook to g1, trying to slide over the rook and maybe get some checkmate threat here. Obviously not immediately like that, but castles, and now rook slides over to f8. Pawn forwards, bishop takes h4, the hanging pawn, and we have rook d to g1, letting both these rooks be on this open file, which is very smart. And we have now queen sliding over to e7, and knight jumps onto g4. Bishop slides back to attack the queen, and we have queen going to e2 out of the way of the bishop. Queen takes c5, and now this pawn structure in the middle of this board is very strong, and I don't know how Alireza Firouzja is going to combat this. He decides to make a waiting move, king to b1, trying maybe to defend this pawn. I don't know what his idea was, but he drops the advantage he had, and Magnus Carlsen doesn't play a move any better. He misses the opportunity that he had, and his opportunity was to play h5, attacking this knight, which looks terrible, because if you play h5, it just gets taken immediately by the rook, but that's actually not the best move. The best move would be taking here, which is very odd. But we have bishop here defending here, probably because Magnus saw this and wanted it to be defended and this to be defended. But now he gets his queen attacked. After knight here, the queen's attacked. Now the queen has to move, and the queen goes back to the wrong square onto e7, and now Alireza has an advantage. He drops the knight back. These rooks look very strong, eyeing at the king, and the queen can slide over and try to do a checkmate threat. We have pawn forwards to c5, pawn forwards to c4, and now a4 or a5, and knight takes a5. Now this side of the board is open for Magnus Carlsen's threats, so we can slide this rook over, try to get some checkmate threats. We have knight dropping back to b3, rook going to a8, and now this looks like a very big threat. Pawn forwards to a3, trying to defend the threat, but now your knight's attacked. The king slides over to defend the knight, but now it's attacked by 2, only defended by 1, so you have to add an attacker or move it away. So he added a defender. Sorry, not an attacker. A defender. So the bishop goes to e3, attacking the knight. The rook defends the knight. Pawn jumps forwards. And see, the center is very strong, trying to attack Alireza. And now knight goes to g4, attacking the bishop. Pawn takes, and now it's attacking this rook. We have rook sliding over to h2, trying to make some threat on this side of the board, and with this queen here. But there's nothing he can do after, well, there's something he can do, but he doesn't find it because he's only at 5 seconds, and Magnus Carlsen's at a minute. Magnus plays a mistake, but it looks very scary. The only move that Alireza can do that isn't drawing or losing is knight to a5. Every single other move isn't good. So he drops his knight onto the wrong square, and now Magnus Carlsen, if he plays the correct move, is completely winning, and he finds it. Bishop to d4, it's the only move that was completely winning. We have rook going to c1, trying to defend, but Magnus Carlsen's pawn is too far forwards. It's ready to promote, and Alireza slides his rook over, trying to defend, but now Magnus Carlsen has another queen, trades off, so he gets a free rook for that pawn, and now queen takes h7, trying to do something, but Alireza staying at 5 seconds because he has increment, so he gets time every time he plays a move, but Magnus Carlsen is completely winning. He runs his king away and trades off the queens, and now in this position, he's completely winning, and he's up time even. He does make a mistake, but it doesn't really matter after Alireza, low on time, also makes a mistake. We just push our pawn forwards, make sure he can't promote his pawn, and now after Alireza loses this pawn, he's pretty much completely losing, and he actually just resigns because 2 pawns and a rook versus a knight is easily won for Magnus Carlsen, and Alireza with less time can't defend it. Now we have our last game. They're both at 1.5 points, and whoever wins this game will win. We have e4 by Magnus Carlsen, c5. This is a Sicilian defense, and we have e6 and d3. These are interesting moves. Normally when I'm playing opening like this, if they play here, I'll just play d4, try to open it, and then see what happens. I don't know what they'd play, something like this and this. And that's what I'll normally play, but these guys are quite a lot better than me, and they're going to play a setup. And they don't want to trade off pieces really early. They want to make it really complex because they have no time, and they want to be making as many mistakes as possible, apparently. Now we just have a very closed position. These pawns look crazy, all pushed forwards too. But apparently it's very good, and this is probably theory that they both know. Pawn forwards, and now the tension on the pawns finally gets relieved, and pawn takes, which is the first capture in the game. Pawn takes back, and now a4 by Alireza playing black, and Magnus Carlsen slides his rook over onto the open file, which is very strong. We have bishop to a6 attacking this pawn, but there's not much you can do. It's already defended, so Magnus just castles. We have knight going to f5, and now Magnus Carlsen has a slight advantage, and he slides his rook over to c1. Rook goes to b8. Now knight drops back to f1, and he dropped it to about equal, or even a little bit better for black. We have rook to b3. Now knight goes to e3. These mistakes don't really matter because the position is so closed that you can't find the best move. It's almost impossible. However, making a mistake like this shouldn't happen. I mean, they are pretty low on time, but castling is kind of the obvious option. Although this looks free, and you're going to push this pawn. Castling, you're just staying out of danger, but he drops it to the equal position, and now Magnus Carlsen finds this move where he's trading off pieces, and he's weakening this king. Now if this king castles, it's going to be in very much danger of the queen jumping in, and all of Magnus Carlsen's pieces. Now Magnus wanting to trade off these rooks, and now he's attacking this pawn here. I don't think there's any way he can defend it. Yeah, he doesn't defend it, and now Magnus slides his queen over. I don't know, maybe he's double attacking on this pawn, still defending this pawn, and now Magnus Carlsen is completely winning. Queen takes a4 is completely winning. Rook takes a4 isn't so good, but that's really interesting. Okay, I guess you can't. I still think that's very good. After queen takes here, pawn takes here. Oh, you have rook takes here. Okay, you're completely winning. Sorry. So you can do that, and that's exactly what happened. Bishop actually defended instead of pawn taking. Queen drops back, and now bishop goes to f8. And now Magnus Carlsen is completely winning this game, and he is up a lot of time. It's 30 seconds for Alireza, and a minute 48 for Magnus. He plays the check in the corner. Great move. Takes with the pawn. Bishop takes back. Knight drops back, attacking the bishop. Bishop goes to d3. Pawn forwards. Bishop drops off the back rank, defending the rook, and the rook is attacking the queen, so the queen has to drop out of danger. The queen jumps in for Alireza, and he is holding on here. Although the position is completely lost. He's only at 2.9 seconds. Magnus is at 30, but Alireza is still holding on. We have rook sliding over to b1, and now rook goes to c8. Queen drops back, which is a mistake, trying to get on the square, and it's completely drawing. About a point up for Magnus, but that's not too good. He's trying to get onto this square to get some attacks, but the bishop can drop back and attack here, so they're both very low on time. They're only working on their increment right now. Magnus goes to a6 with his queen, and blunder by Alireza Firouzja. The moves that Magnus can possibly play to win this are bishop to e3, attacking this queen. It can take here, but that's no good. And you can play rook to b7 check, which is a little bit more obvious because it's a check and you're doing something really quick. But Magnus Carlsen does not have that much time to think it out, so he just takes here. And he's completely losing because queen takes f2 is very strong. And actually, that's exactly what happens. And now queen takes f2, he's about up 5 points. However, they're both very low on time, and that's not how it works. The king jumped out, and now pawn takes back, completely losing. The move that Alireza Firouzja had to play was bishop takes a6. The queen. The hanging queen. I don't know if they didn't see this, but because after pawn takes, you're attacking the queen. So Magnus just opened his queen to be attacked. And then Alireza didn't see it. He just took the pawn back. He's like, oh no, my knight's hanging. So I might as well not take the queen for free. But backwards bishop moves are the hardest to see. Sorry about that. And we have king going up. Pawn takes back. Could have taken the queen for free. Queen goes to b7, and Magnus Carlsen is completely winning again. We have king sliding up. Queen goes over. Bishop drops back, trying to defend. Queen takes d5, check. King slides over. Queen check. Bishop blocks. Queen check again. King's running all over the board. And now, mate in 7. If you can find it, that would be kind of crazy. You can pause the video if you can find it. However, Magnus is in a pretty scary spot, and Alireza actually ran out of time. 0 seconds. On the move before, there's actually 0 seconds. But after you played this, he ran out of time. King can slide over, but just take here, and that would be mate. So I don't even know what the best move is. Queen g1 check is the best move. Sacrifice literally everything. Yeah, that's crazy. Alright, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.